we shooting this video? About 1:45 in the morning. I'm so glad they won. So glad they won. Let's go! Good. We all feel good. Stop! Never gets rusty.
What am I doing?
Into my kitchen. Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet. Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory puppies! He actually woke him up for this. Oh, you almost had it. He's tired. He's sleepy. If you're gonna make the fans stay up, you might as well make it one of your most complete efforts of the season. Leafs win 3-0 over the LA Kings. And in case you thought 2024 was gonna be a normal one, Martin Jones now holds the Leaf lead in shutouts. Did not see that coming at all. Thank goodness the Leafs made that late one worth watching, and they made it an easy one. Not like the game was easy for the Leafs. The game was actually pretty chippy. But easy in terms of they started to win, and then they won. Wow! In today's NHL, where shooting percentages are going and shooting percentages are going way up, leads just die in this league. And when the Leafs are involved, there's even more chaos. They can erase any lead they want. They can choke on any lead they want. They can do whatever they want. I'd love to know what percent of NHL games involve a team taking the lead and then never conceding it ever, not once. Also weird because there's a bit of a disconnect between the Leafs and their fans for this one. Because the Leafs are forced to look at this every game, one game at a time. But let's face it, a lot of you watching this video right now, you didn't watch the game. You didn't stay up until nearly 2 in the morning on a Tuesday, technically Wednesday. But also, it's a back-to-back. The Leafs play the Kings, and then tomorrow night, or tonight, technically tonight, the Ducks. And what's going to happen on the second half of the back-to-back against the Ducks? We don't know. Because the Leafs waived Samsonov, which I didn't see at the beginning of the season. No one claimed Samsonov, which I definitely didn't see at the beginning of the season. The Leafs have called up Dennis Hildeby, which I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams at the beginning of the season. And Sheldon Keefe said he has not ruled out the possibility of playing Martin Jones both halves of the back-to-back. And you know, we're antsy. Like, we could look forward to this game against the Kings. That's what we're here to talk about. And while Martin Jones has been totally fine, we know we're gonna have to get comfy for the next little bit with Martin Jones and question mark. Listen, Samsonov's not even practicing with the Marlies right now. If he does rejoin the Leafs at some point, it's not gonna be for a while. Joseph Woll is hurt. He's not gonna be rejoining the Leafs for a while. Unless you're making a trade or going on the waiver wire, you're playing Hildeby. At some point. The Leafs already had the opportunity to go out and get Eric Comrie off of waivers, and they didn't do it. So I think they're sticking with the kid. And Keefe kind of alluded to the idea, well, we'll have to see how good of a job the team does in front of Jones and how he responds to the workload. What happens? The Leafs play one of their most complete efforts of the entire season, and Jones looks spectacular. I mean, honestly, how many incredible saves did Jones have to make in this one? Really, though. The Kings had their chances, and early, Trevor Moore puts one right off the side of the net. That's not a save, though. Jones made like one really good one off of a one-timer. He had one particularly busy penalty kill where he was the star. But beyond that, especially at 5-on-5, Leafs seemed to make his life pretty easy, and he only had to make one save I can even really remember that stood out. He made 29 saves in the game for his 30th career shutout, and I know what you're thinking, if you're a nerd like me, how many goalies have ever hit 30 career shutouts? I'm so glad you asked. Martin Jones becomes just the 74th goalie in the entire 100-plus year history of the NHL to reach 30 shutouts. He's tied with Darcy Kemper and with Cam Talbot, who he actually played tonight, which is wild. Tim Thomas, if you can believe it, only has 31, so he's one back of him. And one of the men tied with 32 career shutouts, Felix Potvin. Listen, the last few years haven't been the most kind to Martin Jones, but he's had a pretty good career. And he's having a pretty good season, honestly. And it's not just him. The team plays well in front of him. I think you can feel bad for what Ilya Samsonov has gone through this season while also acknowledging he's probably not very easy to play in front of right now because you just are in constant fear. You're not busy playing your best game. You're busy thinking of the goalie's game. Any mistake I make is going to ruin his night and therefore all of our nights. And then there's Martin Jones, who's just kind of chill. Over 450 NHL games played. Yeah, I've seen this before. He played 5 games with the Marlies earlier this season, had an .870 save percentage, and then they showed a stat on the broadcast. He's like the second best goalie in the entire NHL in a first period. Make it make sense. I don't know. Hockey. It's hockey. First goal is just all hustle, all effort from the second line, which is kind of the first. I mean, it doesn't have the NHL's leading goal scorer, but it does have the leading point getter on the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is wild. As they mentioned on the broadcast, Tavares loses his first draw of the night. Oh, nuts. Kings have the puck, doesn't matter. That line is all over them. Tavares forces the turnover, as he does. Bertuzzi helps Tavares force the turnover. Bertuzzi gets the puck behind the net, throws it in front for Nylander, bats it in! Pay that man his money! And it's 1-0 Leafs. How good has this line been? From MoneyPuck.com, there are some numbers that shine glowingly on this JT Bertuzzi and Nylander line. From MoneyPuck, this is their expected goals percentage. Basically, by MoneyPuck's metrics, this is like the 4th best line in the NHL with 63.3% of expected goals. I will say this, I'm not refuting MoneyPuck's data. I'm certainly not doing that. What I am doing is providing a little bit of context, because this isn't just a lines that are playing well stat. This is a lines that are being deployed properly by their coaching staff stat, because I doubt you would look at like the Waugh, Carrier, Colasar line and be like, yep, that's the second best line in hockey. Behind McDavid and whoever he's playing with that day, it's Carrier, Waugh, and Colasar. You know how I know that? It's not even Waugh, is it? Is it Roy? Is he Roy or Waugh? I don't even remember. Or is it the King who's Waugh or Roy? I don't remember. I don't think what these stats mean is the 4th line of the Vegas Golden Knights is the Golden Knights' best line. I think it means Bruce Cassidy is the best coach in the NHL at deploying his 4th line. So I think Sheldon Keefe does deserve some credit here, but huge credit to JT and Bertuzzi and Willie for not even starting the season together, but making just an incredible line. And I gotta say, Matthews was on one in this game. Marner had a really dogged, kind of feisty effort in this game, and Nye's drawing a couple penalties in the 3rd alone. There was a moment where Matthews got rocked by Dubois, and there was a fight immediately after. Were any of you like, oh gosh, I wish there wasn't a fight there? Not one of you. Not a single one of you. It wasn't a real fight, it was a scrum, but you know what I mean. A response, for goodness sake. And then the Leafs came out of it with a power play, which they usually wouldn't in that situation, but I wasn't about to complain. I wanted them to score there so bad, but you can't have everything. After that little scrum and after the Leafs power play, which failed, there is another play that is just, it's Tyler Bertuzzi in a nutshell. The goal everyone is going to be talking about today, definitely. Because it's weird, right? It's Domi out there with Yarncroke and Bertuzzi, but it's still the same dogged effort, and they're fighting to get the puck back, and Bertuzzi has it, and does he not have a goal? Oh, Callie's all alone! Ah! Callie Yarncroke takes the feed all alone in front from Tyler Bertuzzi, and he buries it. It's a nice goal from Callie, but can we talk about Bertuzzi, who's just out there with no glove? And then you realize that the hand that didn't have a glove on it had like some sort of brace thing, which means that hand hurts, which means this guy plays with such selfless, reckless abandon that he didn't have a hockey glove on his already injured hand. Like, he could have taken a slash to that hand and it wouldn't have even been the other player's fault. It happens all the time. And he just sort of did his job and went for the puck and then created a play and created a goal. I said it before, I'll say it again. I went on my rant about Tyler Bertuzzi after the infamous Bruins game earlier this season, talked about wanting him off my hockey team. That Tyler Bertuzzi is gone. He is off of my hockey team. This guy, this heart and soul player, can stay forever if he wants. He rules. I don't care what his goal numbers are, assist numbers are. He goes out there every single shift and does everything and tries his, can I say balls? I'm gonna say balls. He tries his balls off. It's just chaos. That's not even the most chaotic part of his equipment tonight, by the way. Like, Bertuzzi did something with his glove off. I've seen players do stuff with their glove off before. I have never seen this monstrosity that Tyler Bertuzzi calls the butt end of his stick. Look at this! Look at that! Ah! What even is that? He puts like a thin strip of tape over the exposed butt end that you could stick your finger in for some unbeknown. Why? And it's not even because he doesn't care or he does it haphazardly. Like, here's another photo of him on the bench, meticulously putting on the tape like this, on purpose. Listen, I don't claim to be a hockey equipment expert. Parents, like, look at this. Look at this. This guy's in the NHL. This guy makes $5 million. This guy has been to the All-Star game. This guy is one of the best players on this team. I don't think you need to fuss too much about your tape job. Like, you can go look at Artemi Panarin, you can go look at David Pastrnak, Tim Stützle. There are some wacky tape jobs in this league. This is next level. Like, oh, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. And, like, does he lose his stick a disproportionate amount of times, like, compared to his teammates? No. Does he ever drop it and you're like, oh, gosh, I wish Tyler Bertuzzi had more tape on the butt of his stick? Nope. Just kind of wins. Just kind of wins and does things to help you win. Anyway, enough fawning over Tyler Bertuzzi and his incredible game and weird stick. The third period was relatively peaceful. Well, except for the part where Simone Benoit maybe broke a finger by punching a very large man in the helmet with England, which I don't think was smart. Especially because Benoit has been playing so well, and now he might not be in the lineup tomorrow against the Ducks, who is the team who didn't qualify him at the end of last season, which is the whole reason why the Leafs got him or were able to get him. I really hope Benoit is able to play in his return to Anaheim, because that would suck. But other than that, there was a weird stretch at the end of the game where it was 4-on-4, but because the Kings had their goalie pulled, it was 5-on-4, and then they had a power play, and that was scary. And then William Nylander got an empty netter, and it wasn't so scary anymore. Leafs win 3-0, and my fantasy team thanks you for getting Willie the second goal. Questions. This is from a Kings fan. Y'all cheated using Martin Jones against us. This is our punishment for trading him away from Milan Lucic way back when. Yes, that is a real thing that happened. The stat, I think, from StatsMuse is Martin Jones has a record of 22-8-3 in 33 games, with a goals against average of 2.45 and a save percentage of .920 versus the Kings in his career. That is tremendously stupid and makes no sense whatsoever, and I love it. This isn't a question, but it's William Nylander from NHL Public Relations. William Nylander, with 19 goals and 31 assists for 50 points in 35 games, scored twice Tuesday to become the first Leafs player this season to hit 50 points. So, suppose we should talk about that. Nick Kypreos from Sportsnet reported that William Nylander is close to signing with the Leafs, or at least Elliot Friedman seemed to confirm that he's close to signing with the Leafs. The number that Kypreos threw out there was 8 years, which we like, and 11.25, which, I'll be honest, we don't like. Nope, that's David Pastrnak money. What? Nope. Don't like that. Especially, remember at the beginning of the season when 10 was too much and 10.25 was too much? They just tacked $1 million onto that. Nope, don't like that. Here's a question that I think is totally valid. Willie is on a 117-point pace. Can we just pay the man already? Nope, no you can't. And it's not because I don't like him or I don't want him to get paid. You have John Tavares making 11, and Austin is going to go up to 13.25, and Mitch is still going to be making 10.9 all of next year, and I think the year after. And then you're going to give Nylander something like a $4 or $5 million raise. And I just want to know how. How? The only way is if you trade one of the other three guys and they all have full no moves. So, like, all of them. I've been saying Marner, Matthews, who you're not trading, full no move. Tavares, who you're probably not trading, has a full no move. And Marner, who you're probably not trading, and it's going to be very difficult, and you're probably not going to get a good return for him, as a full no move. So how? It's not even about not wanting to pay Willie that amount of money, which I don't, but how? How do you propose they do that and ice like a team beside them? How? You like Domi? How? You like Bertuzzi? How? You think Joseph Woll is going to play for basically free forever? Matthew Nyes isn't going to be on an entry-level deal forever? How Are the Leafs gonna do this, dude? Listen, when he signs the thing, I'll try to focus on he's still a Leaf, and that's wonderful, and I love that, but I do not know what the long-term plan is here. I have no idea. No clue. Lastly, how was Leo's first hockey game? Ah, yes. My wife and I got to take our son Leo to his first ever hockey game on New Year's Day. That was the Oshawa Generals versus the Kitchener Rangers, and he had a great time. And I got him a picture with Deke, the mascot for the Oshawa Generals. You can tell how tired I am right now. It is 2:15 in the morning. And he got a little Deke stuffy, and the General scored, and it scared the crap out of him, but he took it like a champ. He just covered his ears whenever he didn't like what was going on. He loved it. He loved the Zamboni. He loved the blimp. He loved the guy with the shovel who would come out. The hockey part was like secondary. We got him really pumped up for like Dread the Red and all that, and wearing your red Oshawa Generals jersey, and we're going to be cheering for the guys in red, and then we show up and they're wearing their navy blue jerseys, so he was a little confused. And I taught him to chant "Go Gens Go," which he did on and off there and on the way home, and during the game a few times he said, "You can do this." I didn't prompt him to say that, but he was very inspiring. Now, did the Gens win the game? No. But he's 3, so we left early when it was 2-1, so we didn't tell him the second part of that. It was awesome. It was an extremely proud moment, and I'm just chuffed. It was awesome. So we'll see what we get tomorrow in Anaheim. Maybe it's time to unleash the Hildebeest. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I hope you have an extremely happy New Year. Friend. Oh boy, it's just hit me. I'm zonked.